I'm not playing about the legacy that I'm leaving. And when I come in and I'm dripping,
okay, mama.
Like, it's gonna be not because you think that I have it. I really am gonna have it. When I decide, if I should decide to don a Louis Vuitton, it's gonna have more on the inside of it than I paid to obtain it.
You know, it's just all about your preference and your taste. And just going back to your previous question, I think out of everybody, Black people deserve nice things.
We're not going anywhere. It doesn't matter about who's in office.
It's not my job to make white people comfortable.
2020 has also shown that we're not the thugs.
After this day, nobody can tell me that white privilege doesn't exist.
Racism is not an individual, it's a system.
Do we as a Black community truly desire success, or do we want to look like success?
Look like success.
Oh, shoot.
You gotta learn this the hard way. Me being, someone young of age and didn't have much growing up, I found myself, when I did get money, to spend it to actually look like money. Wanted to look good, feel good, and I guess feel successful.
Why?
Monetary things. You didn't have it before. You just see it on, TV. You just think that, this looks nice. I think I would look nice wearing this. Why not buy it if I have the money to do so? But then realizing how unimportant monetary things really were and how unimportant they are. And as a community, you see it all over the media. Like, everybody wants to buy the Louis Vuitton or, the purses, the bags, the shoes, the dresses, when all of that doesn't matter, you can only wear one fit once. It just sits in the closet, collects dust. You don't even go that many places. So,
especially in a pandemic.
And me just being a personal trainer, I wear jogging pants and the hoodie all the time. So it's just like, when you think about success, why do you have to wear it when you look at a lot of white people? They're not trying to go get the most expensive pair of shoes just to go to a meeting. It's something that we spend too much time on.
I think a lot of people want to look like money. They want to look like, I'm balling. But at the end of the day, it's like you have a Chanel bag, you have a Gucci bag, but what's in it?
Dang.
Some lip gloss?
Air.
Air? like, what's in it? And going back to the question you asked, when I think about a lot of, especially the younger generation, on Instagram and all of these things, when people get money, the first thing they do is, I'm gonna buy a Lambo, I'm gonna buy a Mercedes, but is it paid for? Is it cash? You got all of these people buying cars for their girlfriends or for their boyfriends or whatever. Like, if my man wanna buy me a car, please let it be in my name and please let it be paid off. Don't give me another bill.
Finance.
Don't give me another bill.
No, that's right.
What you better say?
I think we want both. I go to HBCU and I see Black people hustling every day, all the time. Somebody came and knocked on my door and I answered like, hello? I didn't know who this person was, but he was like, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Like, went door to door passing out flyers about his YouTube channel. And I see Black people hustling all the time. I do also think we like to look like success, which I don't think necessarily is a bad thing. Now, I do think it's a problem to your point where, you got this nice car, but you get hit with a medical bill and you can't pay for it. But you driving this nice car though, but you can't pay your medical bill. But I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to look nice. I like shoes, I like clothes, I like to look nice. I like to spend money on clothes, but I'm only gonna spend it if I have it.
All right, so let me ask this question. Let's go deeper. Black person has $1,000 in their bank account. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about our community, okay? If I give you $1,000 cash, if I put the average person in the African-American community, $1,000 cash, they have to pay their light bill or go to the one and only Beyonce concert that costs $800. what do you think the average person is going to do?
It depends on the person.
It's
I mean,
that-
I think
But
too
it's the
much.
average.
I think you're putting it in a category
I
now.
think
I think
you
you're
said
putting
it.
black people in
That's extreme.
categories.
Yeah, that's what I say.
It's
I
just
feel
the
like
average.
The
too many-
average person.
I
Too
said
many
the average
times-
person.
The average person may not like Beyonce, though. You know, it's just all about your preference and your taste. And just going back to your previous question, I think out of everybody, Black people deserve nice things. Like, we have worked for 400 years, you know, so if we want to splurge a little bit and have comfort and have nice things, you know, especially, I'm very big on this for Black women. Black women deserve luxury. Not to be broke, but don't make us struggle so much to have what other people can have readily available.
But it's luxurious to me to lay my head down and know that nobody's gonna take the one pillow I have.
Right.
That's
And
luxurious to me.
That's very important, but it's
It doesn't
preference,
matter
too.
that, that's the point. And that's what I was looking for the words to say. Do I wanna look like I'm rich? Like, what does that mean? So for me, I'm in a predicament. You know, I don't wanna be looking like I'm out here being successful. So I looked at myself in the mirror and said, self, do you like what you see? It doesn't matter what other people think or, you know, about what you have, you know, and all this kind of stuff. Like you said, my mother likes to say, a woman of your caliber should be A, B, C, right? Because I agree, there's a level of luxury that I should have, but I paid my dues to get that.
Right.
And I'm still paying my dues because I want to level up. So I looked at myself and I said, self, what are you doing? I sold my house. Because I want to be wealthy.
I like that.
And what wealth looks like to me and being rich looks like to me doesn't look like what it looks like to you, because Bill Gates is rich. He's wealthy. And last time I checked, he doesn't look like it. He could buy a town or a city. And so I made a decision to do what nobody else wasn't willing to do. I was willing to live like no one else so that later I can live like no one else. And I am 46 years old, and I sold my house, and I gained, I think, a 300% increase on the value in the 2 years that I've been living there. And I downsized from a 3,000 square feet to a studio apartment. Because I'm not playing. I'm not playing about the legacy that I'm leaving. And when I come in and I'm dripping,
Okay, Mom.
like, it's gonna be not because you think
Right.
that I have it.
You have it.
I really am gonna have it, and it's not gonna matter about what anybody thinks about it. And when I decide, if I should decide to don a Louis Vuitton, it's gonna have more on the inside of it than I paid to obtain it.
Absolutely.
I think about
I think
priorities.
both are important, too.
I think about priorities as a Black individual. Like, what's important to you? Like, do you want to just go out when you get $500? Oh, let's say a stimulus check or unemployment checks. How many of those checks people were getting in 2020? I didn't get any, right? But imagine, let's say you're middle class, you're a Black middle class individual. You're in your 20s and you don't have any kids. You probably stay in the apartment with other people and you get $800. Bills are paid, but now you just got $800 sitting. So you have to decide what you want to spend your $800 on, or if you want to save it, or if you want to invest it, or put it towards something that you've been working on, like a business or something. Like, it's really about your priorities. I myself, as soon as I get some extra cash, I'm trying to invest it now, or I'm trying to put it towards my business, or I'm trying to, set it aside for the future, because you may need it. It's something called, like, when something happens, do you have any money to fall back on? It's called an emergency fund, right? What are your other checking accounts looking like? What's your savings looking like?
Some people don't even have a bank account. They got cash out.
Yeah.
I think we're too quick to judge Black people sometimes, though. Because
Thank you.
on one hand, I don't think that we need to keep comparing ourselves to white people. So you say, oh, well, what do white people do when they get money? You don't see them dressing like this. I don't care what white people do. Mikhail's gonna do what Mikhail's gonna do. And I think that you can't just say, oh, this person's dressed nice. They got some Jordans on. That they drive this whatever car. Their priorities must be in clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, when I get some money, I put a lot of money in my business, and I got a good amount of money, and most of it went into my business, but the rest of that money, I went to a store and I bought some nice clothes.
Yeah.
And if somebody looks at me and goes, oh, well, she's dressed nice, she must not, whatever. Like, she doesn't have a car, but she's dressed nice.
I'm gonna tell you what I did today. I actually went to H&M. It was a 70% off sale. I went and bought some clothes today, and I haven't done it in a long time because I actually had the chance to do so. But imagine, working for yourself, not getting any paychecks, no unemployment, and you grinding, trying to feed yourself, pay your bills, and it's just a blessing to have something like extra on the side. So, I'm not looking at what nobody else doing. Yeah. That was just an example that I threw out there. But honestly, I don't care how anyone else lives their life, but I'm always big on paying it forward. It's like I always tell my friends, like, bro, you making this money, you doing real well. Are you saving? I ask my friends that. We talk about this stuff all the time. It's about who wants to listen.
Yeah.
You could, like I said, you could tell anybody anything, but it's about what they're going to take from it. And some will, some won't. I know what I'm doing, though. I know I'm leaving something for my generation. I'm going to have a business for them to have within the family, and it's not going to be taken from us. So
I've been trying to chime in for a moment to say that in an effort to answer the question literally in the context of the question, because it's easy to personalize it. It's easy to talk about personal experience, but from a community standpoint, as a culture, I think we do. And the reason we do is because we equate success with material things. Because we did not have. And in order for you to have, you would have had to have become successful in order to have. So as a culture, I think whenever you see somebody doing those things and they feel they have to do those things, it's because they are appealing to our culture, our community. Take church for an example. Most of your big churches that have white pastors, you don't know the pastor name, but you know the church name.
True.
Most of your big black churches, you don't know the name of the church, but you know the pastor.
Yeah, that's true.
Why? Because we gravitate to success of the individual in our community. It's just good to see us doing well.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand? So when you are wearing stuff to show your success, then it creates this, man, they're doing well, or man, I wish I could. Now the flip side of that is we do it when we're struggling. We portray an image when we really don't have it.
Yeah.
And that's where the fault comes in at.
We need a balance.
There has to be a balance. And when you look at white culture, they don't have to do that to appeal to their people. Do you understand? They don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't have to wear it a certain thing or dress a certain way in order for them to. In our culture, people won't even do business with you. You have a voice based on what they appear as success. If you don't have a voice, if you don't have somewhat of an appearance of success, you don't even have a voice in our community. They'll give you a platform, an ear, and the whole 9 yards if you look like you're successful. They don't even know what's in your bank account. You'll be struggling. But because you look successful, oh, well, he got something to say. That's a flaw. But at the same time, you got to understand, it comes because in order for us to have ever had, that means something of success has taken place, and we gravitated towards that.
And how do we get to a point where it's not an either or? I think that's also unfair too. It's like the questions are always so extreme. Like, if you get $1,000, what are you going to do with this? I think it's a little bit much, and then we drag people, if you will, for wanting to have nice things or do nice things. Like, I know I come from a position of privilege, so that's not lost on me, obviously. But, how do we get to a position where people are actually successful and it's okay for them to splurge on themselves or spoil others, or, make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do, stay within your budget, tithe, make sure you're donating and, investing in education. But then, on top of that, like enjoy some of the success that you had along the way.
Who does Black Lives Matter to? Should they only matter to white people?
Do you believe that the Black Lives Matter movement is moving the Black community forward?
We had 2 sisters in my community build the first ever Black-owned supermarket. Man, they was robbed so many times.
How are we still struggling with the same problems of police brutality? We're just continuing to fight, and we have to keep fighting.
We're Black all of the time, and it matters all of the time, not some of the time.